Hey guys, how's it going? It's Shay. Welcome back to Utmost Fanology, and here is a very unique little fan heater. This is an Ozonair wall-mounted fan heater from roughly the late 50s to early 60s. I got this thing from eBay as an auction for a whopping £6.90, and this one's got a bit of a funny story related to eBay. I first saw this thing, I believe last year, around this time, and somebody else won it, and then I saw it listed up again, and then somebody else won that auction. So 2 auctions I lost trying to get this thing, and then the third time it shows up again, and I won it. So yeah, and I don't understand why this thing actually has shown up again, but considering the state of it when I got it, I guess it does make sense why the buyers might have refused to pick it up. This thing has only showed up on eBay. I mean, actually, on the internet. I've only seen 2 pictures of this thing. I've only seen the listing of this and another one which was fully restored and not operational as a fan heater. The element was actually removed, which makes sense, to be honest, because the element in this one is actually cracked, while the ceramic mounting for where the springs are, there's a crack in it. So I don't know if that's really safe to use or if anything, but it does work just fine. I did remove the connections to the element anyways, just in case, and I don't really need a heater anyways, but I might get a, we'll see. I'll probably talk about it later when I tell you the plans of where I'm going to put this thing. Well, yeah, why don't we do it like my previous video and my previous videos on my main channel, where, you know, we look at the size and all that good stuff, and yeah, so here we go. Alright, now for the overall condition of this thing. It is not a looker, that's for sure. You can see all the kind of dents and paint scrapes all over this thing. I do like the whole kind of steampunk design on this, with the color and the kind of different sectioned bits on it. I love the motor cap here. I will show you what the actual motor looks like underneath that in a bit. But yeah, I don't know if I'll actually restore this thing, but I'll probably say the same thing later on. It's going to be quite a lot of work, and this paint that they've used on this thing is not the same. It's not one that will come off easily. I mean, obviously you can see it scraped off here, but you know, it's just, I don't know, it has a kind of certain look to it that looks it is almost like patina, if you will. But yeah, definitely not pristine. I do love the whole open back design here, where you can just stick in your hand and, you know, lose a finger or two. Counterclockwise blades, which is quite cool. Don't see that often. I mean, they run counterclockwise, though they look like they're supposed to be reversible as well, which is kind of neat. But yeah, a lot of other fan heaters of this era usually have a guard or something, but this is the first one that I've seen with a design like this. At the top you have the Ozonair logo as well, which is nice, and you get this knob here which adjusts your wall mount, and that works better when the thing is actually mounted, of course, because most of the weight will be down here and not up here. Trying to move this thing when it's sitting around like this is not easy. But yeah, let me show you the underside, and then I'll show you the motor itself. Alright, now for the bottom, or I mean, I guess it's the bottom at least. You can see the manufacturer's tag, which is very awesome. It says, I don't know if it was made in London. It doesn't say made in England anywhere apart from on the motor, which I will show you in a bit. 3 kilowatts, 13 amps, 230 to 250 volts, pretty normal. The type is, I believe it says MC3. I thought it was BC3, but no. And reference number 10956. That street is still a place, and I don't know what building that is. It doesn't show up anymore if you put it on Google Maps, surprise surprise. And there's no information about this company, TAC Air Conditioning, anymore, which is a shame. Looking downwards, these 2 holes here, which look like they are a socket, but according to the other one of these that I saw, this is a contactor, and these are 2 holes for buttons that cut off the element in, I believe it's like a emergency use type thing. And my one is missing the buttons, and I don't think the contactor actually works, unfortunately. I don't think I'll be able to fix that, but I can try. There's also a label there would have been a label here, either sticky or a tag that would have basically said what it does. But yeah, let me show you what the motor looks like. Alright, here is the motor. I have removed the little dust cap, end cap, whatever you want to call it. And as you can see, it is a shaded pole motor. There's no capacitor in this thing. It was made by a very interesting company. You guys can't really read this, so I will put a picture at the end so you can actually read it properly. What it says is, it was made by, actually if I just lift it up here so it doesn't really, I can probably tell. You can't really tell, can you? Oh well, fine. Okay. It says it was made by the British Thomson Houston Company Limited in Rugby. And basically the deal with that company is, I mean, a bit of history on that thing was, it was a competitor to GEC and a few other heavy industrial companies that we had here in the UK. And it started in the 1800s or so, mid 1800s or something like that, and they ended up becoming a conglomerate with another company, which was called Metropolitan Vickers. And for any rail fans out there, or any of you watching this video, you might recognize that name because they made a few locomotives, and so did the company that made this motor here. They made a couple of locomotives and things like that, which is really quite cool. But just talking about this motor rather than trains, it says AC motor type BR, I can't really read it right now. Voltage 240 volts, 50 cycles, 32 watts I think. Cat D, which I am not sure what that means, and it says some type number, but it's made in England, so that's the important bit, isn't it? One cool thing to note, it does have oil ports, and I did put a bit of oil in it, and the bearings are much happier now. They were a bit noisy when I was running it. Thankfully there's no play in the bearings at all. The blade is a bit warped on one of these blades here, and there's a front oil port there as well. I did put a tiny bit in there. It's very hard to reach. You have to remove the whole heating element array, and it's quite a job. So I will get to it at some point, but right now it's running quietly, so I don't think it's necessary. The spin down is not great though, isn't it? Right, let's run this thing. Alright, I've plugged it in and we're all ready to go. I have the watt meter plugged in as well, so here goes nothing. And it runs just fine. I can feel quite a nice breeze. I'll pull it to the side, and there's one of the springs here that's vibrating, which is a bit annoying. when it's mounted up, it doesn't make much noise at all. It's a very quiet unit, if anything. That's the weird thing. There is quite a design flaw with this fan heater rather, and there's no cowling in this thing, so a lot of the airflow that comes out of this thing is a bit restricted. I mean, it's restricted obviously because of the heating coil, but it doesn't flow like it should do. Also, the blades on this thing are they spin counterclockwise, which is quite neat. I believe it uses around 32 watts of power. I'll have to check the meter in a second. Will you stay in place, please? That'll do, right? There we go, so you can actually see. And let's get out the old meter here. Airflow out of this thing is pretty good. I mean, it is pretty good when you consider how much noise it makes. And it's quite a nice, pleasant sound as well. It's it's not that powerful. It doesn't feel that powerful. There's not much pressure coming out of this thing, really. 610 was the highest I saw. And moving backwards, it gets down to around 300 feet per minute, which is, if anything, it's a bit weak in numbers wise. But when this thing is on with the heater, it is more than enough. Oh my goodness, this thing is a beast when it comes to heating. It's using around 31 watts of power, which is perfect. That's why it's basically rated for. And yeah, it does. I know this is going to sound very, very stupid or silly, but it makes for quite a nice sleeping fan or something. The motor does run a bit hot though, but after oiling it a bit, it is now okay. And when that spring is not making that silly noise like that, it's a very quiet thing, as I've already mentioned. So yeah, can't wait to show you this thing mounted up, as I'll probably mention later as well. And I'll try turn it off and let you guys see the spin down here. There you go. It has improved since I got it, and hopefully will improve more as I do regular oilings on it. I'm not sure if I'm going to try to restore this whole thing. It is going to be quite a lot of work, and the paint on this thing is not like spray paint or anything. It's apparently like the old-fashioned type baking paint or whatever it's called. I don't know how you call it really. It's not it's very old school really. But yeah, it's quite a cool piece, and I just have to fix a few things here and there, and it will be perfect. Well, functional. But yeah, let's wrap up the video now. Right guys, there we have it, and feel free to let me know what you guys think of this little thing. I think it's quite a cool piece, and I've never seen another one of these, or like most of the wall-mounted fan heaters of this era tended to be of a kind of unique style, and they all look really pretty cool. Like you see some of the GC ones, and those look fantastic, and unfortunately a lot of them have been turned into very expensive lamps. If you look on eBay and search up GC fan heater, you'll see what I mean. People are selling those things for like, I don't know, £100, maybe more, just because they chrome plated it or something and made it look pretty, and then stuck a stupid light bulb in it. But yeah, that's a big shame, and unfortunately that is what's gonna that is what the fate is for a lot of these old fan heaters. People just like turning them into lamps for some reason, so I guess I'm doing it a favor by mounting it in my loft and hopefully using it as a fan. But I will consider trying to repair the element. I mean, the element does work, as I mentioned at the start of the video, but I don't know how safe it will be to use for longer periods of time. I might get a switch for a expeller heater, and what that will allow me to do is use it as just as a fan or as a heater. And if I get one with the thermostat, I can, just set it like that and it'll just turn on when needed, which is cool. So yeah, but only time will tell. So if it even mounts correctly, because if you guys have seen my loft or attic on my main channel, it's a bit the wood planks are a bit oriented in a funny way, the beams that support the roof. And the one I have in mind is not exactly straight. Like, I would have to mount it so that those 3 holes would be on the plank, and I probably would have to tilt it like that, which will do, thanks to that little ball joint thing on the top. But yeah, I will make a shorts video about this fan heater all mounted up and everything. So yeah, stay tuned for that, and as usual, I'll say the same thing that I say on my main channel. Nobody's going to force you to subscribe. It is not something I endorse at all. It isn't just not my style at all. Feel free to subscribe, like, whatever, dislike if you want as well. And I'll hopefully see you in the next video. Bye for now.